Welcome back to the F123 My Team Save. Appreciate your patience in waiting for this save to return with my break on holiday. I'm back, and so is the footage. You may have missed, actually, a new video of a new type that went live probably yesterday as you see this, which was the Creator Series. I'll be involved in that every week moving forward. The footage you saw in that most recent episode was from round 3, which of the first 4 rounds was the only one I was actually able to make, but now I'll be in every week, from the Austrian Grand Prix. So do check that video out if you are interested in 100% race distance stuff online with all of the other F1 guys. So I'm Teammate Marduk's teammate this year, so very much hoping to not let him down if I can moving forward. But certainly I've got a lot of work to do to be competitive in that online arena. In this career mode arena, we are not as competitive as we were in Belgium because of other teams' advancements and unfortunately our failed development updates. That does just mean that we'll catch up a little bit later down the line. McLaren have taken a big jump, and there's now 5 teams at the top there, really, rather than just the 4 and then the rest of us. It's Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin, and now McLaren. Then Alpine have shot up from being the 9th fastest team to the 6th fastest team. Then Williams, who've leapfrogged ourselves, and Haas, who have just levelled off a little bit. Alfa Romeo have jumped a bit, so have Alfa Tauri. So the midfield is going to be very tight. It's not even the midfield. There's like the front pack, and then there's the back pack, and that's kind of it, really. We're still very much, hopefully, hunting for points every single week, but we will be having to take grid penalties here because of worn parts. We've had a couple of failures this season. We've had, just in general, quite a bit of wear. I'm going to have to take a new gearbox this race weekend. I don't think we'll have to take any other fresh parts. Actually, I might need to take a new energy store as well, ahead of the Monza Grand Prix next time out. We would very much like some fresher parts for that. But for now, going to concentrate on Zandvoort. We have a dry quali, but race conditions are dry, wet, dry. So it's going to be an intriguing race day. And of course, having made, planning to make grid drop issues thrown into the mix, who knows what's going to happen on race day. 72 laps of a short circuit, but first we need to go to practice and make sure that we get as many resource points as we can so we can continue to improve the car. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying this save, of course, and make sure you subscribe to this ChesnoidPlays YouTube channel so you don't miss out on more. And do please come across and join me on Twitch as well. It'd be great to have you live. Right, I'm going to go to practice and I'll see you in a moment. Although this first practice session is bloody wet, mate. Actually, you might as well just stick with me here because we're going to try and get all of our practice programs done here and ensure that we get as many resource points as we possibly can and as many discounts as we possibly can with our upgrades as well. Pass first time! Bish, bash, bosh. There you bloody go. So how many resource points are we going to get total to then spend in the, or in between sessions, actually, because the plan would be to spend them before we go to quali. I'm going to have 1,560. Jamie didn't really add much there, unfortunately, but that's not a problem. We're going to get a decent amount done with 1,500 points, I think. A couple of major ones that are available and some minor ones that are in the works. Let's see what our options are on the aero. Actually, aero. Oh, it's chassis that's still the worst area of the car, isn't it? Ah, we had some fail parts we couldn't afford to redo, so I'm going to redo those. That I knew there was something that I was waiting to do, and now I definitely can't afford anything else. So, oh, I could do an ERS system. 65% discount. Not going to say no to that. Ta very much. Okay, new parts and quali time. Although, it's certainly going to be I'm gonna take penalty for an IC. I'm gonna take more pens than I initially thought I was planning on for this, actually. So yeah, I'm unfortunately probably going to be starting 22nd regardless of what happens in quali here, but we'll still qualify as best we can to see just how competitive we might be when it actually comes to the race. Last to the points is probably going to be on here, I hope. We're going to be through to Q2 with just one run. And we're going to be saving tyres for the race. So, provided the wet weather running, or the wet weather brings on intermediate running, and it's not damp but still dry tyres, or a 10 flat, I'll take it. I didn't think I'd got a 9 in me, but I might do, you know. That's going to be us through comfortably to Q2, and hopefully, maybe even Q3, although I'm still expecting to start last. Yeah, 25 place grid penalty. Definitely starting last. Even if I qualify P1, I'm starting 22nd. I feel like we've got the pace to get through to Q3, but there is no point getting through to Q3. We will just save tyres. I was going to try and do one lap on this set, and then in Q3, if I got through, I was going to completely ignore the... oh, the thing is not until here. I was going to completely ignore doing a fresh set run in Q3 and just do a run on the worn set, but there's no point now doing it whatsoever. We will be through to P22. Let's see, anyone else taking any pens? And what's the front 10 looking like after Q... oh, wow, they're in the 8s. A 1 minute 8.988. Lewis was to the millisecond, 1 minute 9 seconds. Okay, so Lando was P1 in Q1, P3 in Q2, but P7 in full... everybody turn the car up to the max, Q3. No other penalties noticed thus far, so I think we will be P22. Jamie's up to P19, so there has been another penalty. It's Yuki Tsunoda, but I'm still last. So P22 for me, expecting rain pretty early on into the race, if I'm honest.
Let's aim to keep that momentum going.
I was going to say, it reckons a what? A 3-stop? Not a chance. Mediums, hards, but I guarantee you that rain is coming very, very fast indeed. Everyone else, I imagine it's going to be soft, aren't they? Everyone's got mediums and hards. Just 3 drivers on the softs at the minute. Lance, Valtteri, and Zhou Guanyu. That says to me that rain that's coming isn't going to be heavy enough for wet weather running. But the soft tyres apparently will do 33 laps. I reckon I could maybe start on the softs. I could maybe go soft, medium, soft here, I think. I've got the fresh tyre wear to do it. And if I move this pit stop back there and move that one back there, I reckon we've got a decent strategy there. Soft, medium, soft will be what we will say we'll do. If it rains, then softs into tyres. If it doesn't rain, and the fact that everyone's doing the strategy they are with mediums and hards says to me that, well, it is going to rain. If it's not intermediate tyre running, which I'm leaning towards that not being the case, then I don't think we're going to need the inters. So we'll go soft, medium, soft. This is then an absolute mystery. There is going to be water falling from the sky, but will we need the green-rimmed tyres? I don't know. So the engineer has told me that rain is coming. In fact, there are some raindrops falling as we're ending the formation lap. There are raindrops falling. So it is going to rain very, very quickly into the race. But will it force intermediate tyre running or will it not? Don't know. Absolutely no idea. We're going to have to try and make the most of this soft set. We've had a great start compared to one AlphaTauri. And we're around the outside of Nick De Vries, and I'm up alongside Jamie Chadwick already. She's battling with Logan Sargent there. I've got someone on the inside of me, so I can't get too tight around this right-hander, but I will know how the inside line for the left. I'll try and nail it here and maybe get Logan Sargent. No, we're in the slipstream of Jamie. I've not used my battery yet at all. We've been able to make positions, so... okay, we're in a decent position so far. Aiming for points today if we can, but It is very weather dependent. And Christ knows what's going to happen with that weather. And the tyre strategy as a result. I'm going to dive up the inside here. No, I'm not. I'm going to bottle it. The inside of Lugan. On the inside of Lugan Sargent. Apparently he's now named after a toilet. Sorry, Logan. Sorry, Logie Sarge. Difficult track to try and overtake Zandvoort, so we are going to have to try and pick our battles. DRS will certainly help, but at this moment in time, everyone is in a bit of a DRS train when it is enabled next lap. So the main overtaking area is into turn 1. Maybe if you get a good run out of that corner back there, you can have a pop in here, which is where we got Logie Sarge last lap. An old Lugan Sargent, but no. No dice on Jamie this time. Patience is key here, I think. There's no point rushing it. We know we've got pace in the car. We know we can make it to the points. We just got to actually drive clean, drive calmly and fast, and we'll make it. DNS enabled now, but there is only 2 DRS zones on the track. We're around the outside of teammate Jamie. Thank you, my love. That is us up to P18. Let's make the most of these soft tyres whilst we can. Come on. In these conditions, though, the soft tyres, I don't know whether they'd be better or worse than the mediums. I'd like to think better because they've just got inherent grip, but the mediums work at a lower temperature range, and the track temperature is going to be lower. We might have to do something with pit strategy today. The old cheeky undercut. But starting on the softs, inherently, even if it does stay dry weather running or dry tyre running for the whole race, we'll be undercutting anyway, switching onto a set of mediums off the softs, so we don't really need to worry too much at this stage, I don't think. Just stick with them, and if the opportunity arises, take a position. If it doesn't, don't worry yet. Need a little bit of field spread, really, so that some lose DRS. There's 2 in front that just disappeared, Ferrari and a Red Bull. Charles Leclerc started P1 and it was Lewis that was P2, but Lewis now down to P3, and one of the Red Bulls is right with Charles Leclerc up there. Grip is starting to disappear a little bit, but it's not because of tyre wear. I think it's because of the conditions. We're at 11% on the fronts. The rain is getting heavier, as you can see. I have no idea what's going to happen with this track right now. Are we going to see wet tyre running? Are we not? Christ knows. I made a mistake, dropped out of DRS range of those in front, and actually I'm now really starting to pay for that. See how the water is starting to pool on the track surface, though, and I'm really struggling with rear traction. I think we might be in intermediate tyres in the not too distant future. I'm going to ask about the weather and see what they say.
The situation's pretty touch and go right now. We think the slicks may still be quicker, but it's very close, and you're going to struggle to keep them in the temperature window. The inters are ready for whenever you need them.
Well, they're talking about intermediates. I am going to make the call. Set intermediates.
Well, inters on your next stop.
And I am going to box this lap.
Understood.
It's a big call. A lot of other drivers are in as well. We are going to box for inters.
Okay, Jamie's in the pits. Jamie is in the pits now.
Well, we're double stacking because Jamie's come in right behind me. Oh, we nearly hit the Haas that was double stacking, but thankfully we were the front car, so we get the better stop. We have jumped a couple of teams, a couple of drivers there that double stacked. Alonso is down in 17th now. We thought we might end up on intermediate tyres. We have ended up on intermediate tyres. That's why we started on the soft tyre. But because of the rain coming when it did and as hard as it did, we weren't really able to make the most of those soft tyres in the opening stages. Now then, do we have as much pace in the wet as we did in the dry? I don't think we will, but we'll find out over the next 63 laps or so. It is going to dry up again before the end, and we know we do have a brand new set of soft tyres to go to later in the race should we need to. I'm just praying that I'm not ungodly slow on these intermediate tyres. We can stick with those in front that are in slower cars. Otherwise I might be in trouble. Nobody else in the pits. Actually, there were a couple in the pits, but they're coming out of the pits now. DRS disabled. Valtteri Bottas coming out of the pits on his intermediate tyres now. But who's going to have the roar? Pull straight over to the racing line, will you, sunshine? Bloody hell. Oh, and then he's really slow on cold tyres. And dipping underneath him, we will get the position on Valtteri Bottas, but he nearly crashed into me, and then I nearly crashed into him. But we're up to P15. In the dry, I'm top 10 here. In the wet, I'm bottom 5, I think. Oh, my fronts are overheating. Fronts are overheating horribly. That's why I'm losing time. They're so hot. They were absolutely fine in the dry, but in the wet, my inters are just burning up. Well, I think in the wet weather, we are knackered because my tyres are just far, far, far too hot. Doesn't make much of a fucking video, is it? He says going slowly for an hour and a half.
Come on, you can win that place back.
I'm trying, mate, I'm trying. Friggin' car don't stop or turn or do anything. It is supposed to dry up, but not till the end of the race. Hopefully it dries up quicker than forecasted. Oh man, how disappointing is that? I waited more than a week to play F1 again, and then this happens in my first race back. Absolute heartbreak. I've been looking forward to this all bloody day. And I had pace in the dry. Sadness. I'll go to mediums when it dries up. And they should hopefully last till the end of the race, but we do have a set of softs to go to, or another set of softs to go to if we feel like we want to, or given any given situation need to.
It looks like we're running on a dry track soon.
Yes, please.
Back to dry shortly.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We could probably make mediums last to the end from here. We're getting to the point where those on inters, well, everybody, sorry, those on the other pit strategy that we did have until it became apparent that our tyre wear was going to be astronomically high, they might be pitting soon for another set of inters, everyone else, unless they stick out for the dry weather.
In front is 17.7 seconds.
I'm going to need to close on those in front by at least a second a lap if I'm to make it to the points. And I don't know if I can do that in dry weather running on medium tyres. I need a dry track so desperately. We just passed, as we cross the line then, the half race distance stage. We've basically done, nearest makes no difference in the minute, a 30 lap stint on tyres that are effectively unsuitable, to be honest, because of the heat that's being generated by the fronts out of, as far as I can make out, no fault of my own. They were fine in practice, they were fine in dry weathers in quali and second practice. We had wet weather running in first practice and showed no signs of increased front tyre temps. It is very, very nearly stopped raining now. Just want dry. I just want dry weather. Please. Give me something to look forward to for the rest of this Grand Prix rather than just another 36 laps of misery.
Boxing this lap.
No, we are not. We were originally scheduled to stop lap 40 for more intermediate tyres. So we might get lucky in a video game sense that other drivers pit for a fresh set of inters on a similar strategy and then end up having to pit again for dry weather tyres, it would be F122 levels of unrealistic, but it would certainly bring the race back towards us and give us more entertainment in this specific scenario. But we're very close to getting lapped now. So any hope we had of trying to rectify things with a safety car is basically out the window, because I still don't believe that the unlapped cars may overtake in safety car settings. Oh, sorry, in safety car conditions is the thing yet. There are cars coming into the pits, but what is it for? I'm pretty sure they are then pitting for another set of inters, which indeed it looks like they are. So the race, in a video game sense, is potentially going to come back towards us slightly, which is good, but it's annoying nonetheless that that is still potentially a thing. They don't react to the fact that the weather is definitely changing, and they don't just elongate that set that they've got an extra 4 or 5 laps till we're on dry weather tyres. Luckily, those front two have pit, so that will save us from getting lapped. So a safety car would now change my race for the better. Cars in front in the pits. Magnussen pits from behind us as well.
Okay to use your overtake button.
So we're effectively going to save a pit stop by just elongating this tyre set out, which is what everyone else should have done, because we will be on a dry track soon. How soon, I don't know. We're up to P14 now as we've overtaken Bottas.
Is 45.5 seconds.
Now we wait and see if the race comes to us.
Okay, gap ahead is
when
5.0 seconds.
Everybody then changes for dry tyres again. I've been intrigued to know whether they go for softs or mediums, because we're getting to the point now where a set of softs would last till the end. I do have fresh softs and fresh mediums available. We just have to make a decision as to what we felt would get us to the end quicker.
It's still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different
Softs that would be quicker at the beginning and then slow us up at the end, or mediums that would just be consistent throughout. A dirt nerd. About half a second slower per lap. The mediums probably wouldn't be the play, because any time you lose on the soft tyres at the end of the stint, you make up by just being quicker at the beginning. Bottas is trying to get past me now, but it's just nowhere near fast enough down the straight with my use of battery. As long as I drive carefully, just give me dry weather running, please, for the love of God. Trying to hold up those behinds, and it's working to a certain extent in these conditions, but I just need to put a set of dry tyres on. Still Inters look like the best tyres supposedly, but I was able to hold them up behind when we were on the same age tyres. Now Bottas has a fresh set of Inters on. Not sure how easy it is going to be to keep him behind me.
Not certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or Inters.
I'm pitting for mediums. It might be a lap or two too soon. Probably is around this part of the track. But I'm pitting for Inters. Sorry, for mediums.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Understood. Stopping this lap.
Oh my God! Yellow flag on the straight. The Williams is retiring. Alex Albon, I think, is retiring from the race.
Caution! Caution! There's a new strategy available on the MFD.
He wants me to go to hards. No. No, 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 no.
Blue flag.
I'm stopping for mediums. I'm stopping for mediums. Safety car would have been amazing. Safety car would have been absolutely perfect. Please put mediums on me. I didn't change the thingy. I'm sure I had mediums set next. Indeed we do. We're on medium. Everyone behind me is in. Everyone behind me is in as well. We've timed that to perfection. Literally everyone behind me is pit immediately. We were the first to make the call. Now then. Do we have the pace in the dry to overturn everything? I hope so. I don't know so. They're all going to hard tyres as well, but our mediums will last to the end. Of that, I've no doubt whatsoever. I am just going to keep a keen eye on my temperatures over the next 4 or 5 laps and see what happens, but maybe game on again for some points, maybe not. It helps that they're all going to hards, it really does. The hards only last a little bit more than the mediums, but they're 3 or 4 tenths a lap slower. Bottas coming out the pits. There's Max Verstappen in P2, so we have been lapped. Even we got lapped under the pit stop whilst we pit, and we haven't been able to gain back that time, so I'm going to have to let Max Verstappen go here. We will only go as far as lap 71.
The car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind
Everyone else has gone to hards. We've gone to mediums. Will we have the pace, tyre temperature and tyre longevity to still get some points from this Grand Prix? Through you go, Max.
Blue flag, blue flag.
DRS will be back soon as well, I'm sure. In fact, he's back now. Perfectly timed. Hello, Max. Thank you for the DRS, pal. Front tyres seem to be okay temperature-wise thus far. Right, the race for points begins now.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 40.
I think Piastri just picked for another set of inters, which is just ludicrous if he has. No, he has gone to mediums, even though in the... No, he has gone to inters. They switched it round. It used to go from right to left. Now it goes as it used to on 22 previous, from left to right again. So Piastri has picked for another set of inters. That's a bug. Everyone is on hard tyres apart from me and Gasly. Me, Gasly, and Charles Leclerc were the only 3 drivers that have picked for mediums, because everyone else started the race on their mediums and have now got... They've had no choice but to go to hards.
3 seconds.
So ultimately, our decision to start the race on the softs is going to massively benefit us. Not in the way we envisaged, but it's still going to work in our favour heavily. So we've got 25, 26 laps now on a softer tyre compound to try and gain as much time as possible on everybody. There's a big gap, however, from Piastri to the car in P11. So we do have a lot of work to do. But P12 is going to be a given at this stage. We will catch Bottas, and Piastri is going to pit again. Piastri pits again. Charles Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the race. I'm out of DRS range to Max, which is slightly frustrating. 19 seconds to Nico Hülkenberg, who is right with an Aston Martin, which is where the points are. So points are 19 seconds away. We need to gain by about a second a lap. And the answer to can we is rather swiftly becoming no. No, we can't. I'm barely catching them, but 112
so
flat is a good lap.
Ahead, 2.4 seconds.
He pit again because we passed him, but he's still on the same set. So he's pit, but didn't change to inters. Lap 45, inter to inter. Lap 46, inter to inter. So he's still... And lap 47, Piastri's pitting for new intermediate tyres every lap. He's switching between sets of intermediate tyres every lap. That is definitely a new bug. So that's Aston Martin retiring. Lance Stroll is out of the race, and we are catching Bottas. Thanks to me draining my battery. catching Bottas to try and take P12, which will now become P11. But still, the gap to Hulkenberg remains 18 seconds. So unless there's another DNF or a safety car so I can put a fresh set of soft tyres on, we're not getting a point today, but we should, hopefully, get and keep P11. Just save my battery at the minute. I could have taken Valtteri into turn 1 there if I really wanted to lunge for it. But there's no point risking stuff now. Let's just stick with him, save battery, and then take him when the moment comes. I'll use my battery now. And we will breeze past Bottas. Bye. P11. Which, if anything, more frustrating than being P15 on the intermediates, because it means maybe I could have had some points today. Not even a maybe. I definitely could have had some points today, and maybe even good points. Gasly and George Russell actually having a battle over P8 at the minute, and it's a battle that Gasly has just gotten the better of George Russell with. Russell is having a nightmare Grand Prix. They're on their final lap now, the front two. So this on lap 71 of 72 will be our final lap as well. K-Mag is going to have to let through Carlos Sainz in a moment as well, as he's going to get lapped by the third place driver. But we should be far enough down the road to avoid that. And there you go, Sainz is going past K-Mag now. So we will finish this Grand Prix, despite our troubles and frustrations and the bugs, in P11. Last year on F1 22, bugs like this and frustrations like this were commonplace. This year, this has been the outlier as to the rest of our career thus far with regards bugs. So I won't get too down in the dumps about it or too angry about it. It happens from time to time with all video games. We hope that it's a one-off. If it isn't a one-off and becomes commonplace like it did in 22, then that's when we start getting a bit more annoyed with Codemasters. But at the minute, P11 was all we could manage there, but we absolutely would have had points, and probably good points, had we not had the front tyre temperature issues that we did.
What a great race
But
then, and a
it's a P1 for Charles Leclerc, it's a P2 for Max Verstappen, and it's a P3 for Carlos Sainz. We don't get any points on this occasion, and for those that were wondering, Oscar Piastri pit 22 times and ended up 8 laps down, but did finish the race as a classified finisher.
An especially impressive feat during the race. However,
Oh, Oscar.
Throughout the event.
It's time to see how things are shaping up for the Constructors' Championship. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red
he
Bull.
pit 22 times in the end.
Who knows what the sport has in
Never
store
mind,
for us
eh?
next time out.
Better luck
Be sure
next
to
time,
join us
Oscar.
once
I was just taking some screenshots there so I can feed that back to the devs. Apologies, Oscar. Your race didn't go according to plan. Ours did. And we have the opportunity to earn some extra cash. We got some resource points that we have earned there. We spent earlier in the episode. I don't think they'll be done by the next Grand Prix. That said, we should hopefully get some front wing and DRS slot stuff that will pass sooner rather than later. Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, or Esteban Ocon? I think I'll take Esteban Ocon, thank you, considering the McLaren is jumping in the R&D charts now. Please both pass. They did fantastic. So in the performance stakes, we sit above Alpine now with a number of parts that will pass, hopefully, in development that will pass for the next Grand Prix after Monza. Next for us, though, is Monza. And hopefully we can get ourselves a decent result there instead. We still stay 9th in the driver's standings, but crucially, Alpine have jumped us to P6 in the constructors. And that's something we need to address. And we will address that, hopefully, in just the next Grand Prix. With Ocon 7th and Gasly 8th, good points all for Alpine in that last Grand Prix ensures that we drop down the standings a little bit. But we'll try and sort that out next time out in Monza. I apologise for the way that race went, but as you might well understand, and I'm sure a number of you have experienced yourselves throughout your F1 driving career, out of my hands, and would have been out of your hands too. Join me for the Italian Grand Prix next time out, and hopefully we can have much better results. Thank you very much for watching. It happens sometimes. I'll see you next time.